man, stay safe world here. You already know what's going on. So we got to talk about this situation right now with Nas Blixky, member of the Blixky gang, 22G's group, basically being shot over the weekend. People fearing that he's dead, but he's actually alive, man. And we're going to get into all that information and the beef that did this. But before we do, man, I'm going to need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and let's run it up, man. So apparently what happened to Nas Blixky is he was shot in an ambush, and he even after this whole situation, he actually is speaking out for the first time, and he says that he's gonna drop his stage name and doesn't want to talk about guns after what happened, because I guess it's just so scarring, man. But we can get into the details right now. Brookyln rapper Nas Blixky is alive after a gun ambush left him wounded in the back and legs and left him determined to abandon his stage name. So according to previous reports, people thought he got shot in the head, but he's okay. So he decided that the price of laying tracks about gun violence and dissing rival MCs was too much. He plans to walk away from his life, though walking is something he has been struggling with after he was shot in the Rogers Avenue Prospect Lefford Gardens. So cops said Fisher was shot in the back and the leg around 9:30 a.m., taken to Kings County Hospital in stable condition. No arrests have been made. His parents said he was ambushed by rivals after a round of bitter trash talking on social media.
We gonna get to the bottom of this shit right fucking now. Oh God, we gonna get to the bottom of this shit right now. Somebody tell this nigga, what the fuck? Show some money? The fuck is he talking about? I don't care what are you talking about. Bitches get fucked. I fucked all y'all niggas bitches. What you think? Every last one of y'all niggas, I fucked every last one of y'all niggas bitches.
He simply had an argument on Facebook and the internet. Fisher's stepfather, who did not want to give his name, he said when he came out to the store, they were waiting for him. He was in a kill box. There were 2 or 3 of them surrounding him. It was an ambush, and he was shot multiple times. Fisher's mother said that he managed to escape with his life. He was at his son's mother's house the night before. He dropped his 3-year-old off at school and he went to buy a sandwich. He saw the gunman on the other side of the street pointing a gun right at him, and he ran for his life. And then there were 2 or 3 of them and they ambushed him. It's ridiculous, she said. They're rapping back and forth. I can't understand how someone can come around and shoot you. Dang. His mom says that social media has been mistakenly buzzing about Nas's death, perhaps confusing him with the rapper named Nick Blixky, who was shot and killed in the same neighborhood in May 2020. But if the internet thinks Nas Blixky is dead, that's fine with them and Fisher, who has continued to leave him buried. So I guess he's, after this incident, is changing his rap name and changing his whole life. Not gonna do no drill songs about rapping about ops and stuff like that after being shot in the leg and the back. But the internet was saying that he was dead or a vegetable or something like that. If y'all didn't know already, basically Nas Blixky, who's in the Blixky gang and has an affiliation with 22G's, and the late Nick Blixky, who was shot in the head in 2020. Basically, he is a rising Brooklyn drill artist that had hits and is just big in general throughout the city. And there's a crazy scenario that basically happened with him this following weekend, where he was actually shot in the back of the head in Brooklyn. But the craziest thing about it is it was a couple hours after he dropped this one song called PG-16. Well, he didn't drop it, he only previewed a snippet, and people are going as far as saying that the snippet is what actually got him killed. Now, apparently people are trying to argue whether or not the snippet is what got him shot in the head, because in the snippet, I think people are saying that he was dissing a Bronx group of rappers when he ended up getting shot actually in Brooklyn. So we don't really even know what the case is, but what we do know is that within this whole environment, right after he got shot in the head, several people came out and were dissing him, one of which was Nas EBK, which is another rapper, and he another artist who has known beef with him. I mean, he has hella diss tracks with them and hella songs. He throws up the folk, which is basically GDK. He says GDK like all the time, which is the complete opposite of what the Blickies are, because the Blickies are basically I think they're comprised of like GD members throughout Brooklyn. If y'all didn't know, the Gangster Disciples is a gang that was founded in Chicago, and it's basically the gang that I guess they had like an offshoot and went to New York, I think in the late 70s, something like that. And a lot of these gangs, they still have like connections with like where they're from and stuff like that, but they basically came up as GDs, like 22 Gs and Blicky Gang and stuff. That's their affiliations. I think they might have like other affiliations too, because like New York is different. It's not just like Bloods and Crips and stuff. Like they be having like Crips with one side, sometimes with like a whole combination of other gangs, like the Wu shit, which is like a whole bunch of other gangs, which I kind of covered a little bit in my last video, which coincidentally was about what happened to the Wu rapper T. Wu, who is another Brooklyn artist who was gunned down. And people actually think that maybe those might be connected, but I don't know. We don't really see any evidence right now, but what we do know is Nas BK went pretty crazy on the whole situation and was dissing. He was dissing like super hard. He was going even as far to say like Nas Blixky should like die or some shit in the hospital, going crazy with it, man. And it's just like a whole bunch of just negative stuff. He like posted the dude from Batman with half his face blown off, man. It's like the savagery is real out here. And as you see in this situation, they're saying that like he like, it could have been a situation where he actually got shot after just previewing a snippet. He didn't even drop the snippet yet. The snippet is hard as fuck. We not gonna lie to y'all, man. The snippet is pretty gas. I'm not gonna lie, but like they just posted a snippet on like the YouTube Reels or whatever, and then I guess people are saying that could have been the case of it. But whatever it be, I mean, like, I know that at the end of the day, it probably had to do something with either music or the gang shit, which is kind of like intertwined. But it's like, even if you weren't dissing someone, you probably had ops enough that felt disrespect with you being even associated. Like I kind of said this in the last video with T. Wu, but like when you're even associated with the gang or whatever, like in any type of form, especially in this New York drill shit, you be seeing people that might not even have anything to do with the situation, but someone that you are associated with could have did something. And if they can't get that person, who they gonna get? You know, they're gonna get the first person they see. And I guess he was the first person they saw, and he ended up getting shot in the back of the head. And that shit is like scary, man. It's like super scary to even think about that shit, you know? But I mean, I guess this is why so many artists and rappers now are kind of coming out and saying that they're not trying to like promote like drill music and people like promoting dissing and stuff. I feel like in dissing the dead, that's probably like the worst thing you could do, because when you're dissing the dead, you're like dissing the whole person's family, really, because that person's not even alive. But like at the end of the day, it's just artists, and this is like the music. And you see with the whole K-Flock situation, like the music is what is the thing that really like makes it all so like ignorant, you feel me? Because it's like they're putting this in songs, and these songs are just going to be played forever. Like that's just never going to get taken down, whether they die or not. And people are going to like play that shit, and it's dissing a whole group of people. And you see like with these artists, like they really be living what they be talking about. Like it seems like a contest really to who's going to do the most crazy shit. Look at like every New York drill artist, like not one of the only New York drill artist to ever survive after being in this whole situation and shit, like coming out of the city, be big and actually survive and not go to jail and die, is like Lil TJ. That's the only one. Or maybe Fabio Foreign too, but he went to jail because he like got caught up with that whole gun charge, so he didn't. K-Flock, he was huge in New York, drill artist. He went down. D-Thing. These are just recent people. Look at Pop Smoke. He was a drill artist, but it's like this shit that you're associated with is crazy as fuck. Like you look at Chef G, man, like that nigga locked up. Like there's not really that many that get to a big level, because it's like you're being held back, especially when you dissing. I mean, really, it's only like right now 22 G's, but he's low-key. He knew that he had to leave, but it's like, until niggas leave, man, it's a dub, man. But hey, I just hope that this whole situation gets cleaned up, because it's like, I mean, not cleaned up, that's a bad way of saying it. I just hope this whole situation gets better, man. But the gun violence right now in New York City is unbelievably crazy. Just as a total, I mean, maybe it was always like this, but it's like people are dropping left and right. Like, this is another person who was lost on top of T.Wu, who was lost the same weekend. I mean, it could have been some retaliation shit too, because those are two gangs that were known to have beef with each other, between the GDs and then the Woos. The Woos kind of like arch enemy is the GDs, because they have like that whole alliance, the Chos. So it's a difficult thing to figure out, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know for certain that these are connected, but they could have been connected. You just look at the evidence and the timeline and shit. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, these are people who are losing their lives, black people who are losing their lives, and it's like, really, it's, these people are making music because this is the last like thing that they can do, you know. This is the only thing they can do to get out of their situation and shit, so they're gonna do it. And the shock factor and shit and the dissing is what really brings the views in, and these labels know that, YouTube know that and shit. People don't want to listen to boring shit. People want to see that shit because it's like a spectacle to them. It's like a movie. But at the end of the day, this is real life for people, man. But let me know in the comments, man. You think this shit was connected, or you think this was something totally different? And you think that the diss song played any role in it, or you think that he just got caught up on some old beef, man? But hey,